producing this for the last 15 years, I guess. I don't know if you're aware of the fact that Joe Williams and his wife Jillian created something called the Everyday Foundation. And its purpose is basically to provide scholarships for youngsters who are creative, talented, and committed to keeping jazz alive. I was fortunate enough to meet and get to know Joe for only about 8 or 9 years, and he was a remarkable man. I just have to explain a couple of things. We had 2 or 3 other performers who had originally said they would be here, but other commitments have taken them away. One of them, of course, being Jack Jones, who happens to be on the advisory board of the Joe Williams Everyday Foundation. So, the people we have here tonight, or this afternoon, are extraordinary. And you're in for a wonderful, wonderful afternoon of music. I just have to say one thing which really always has stuck with me. I had been a singer in my youth with the Air Force Band at March Air Force Base, and always was able to perform in front of a seated audience with a big band behind me. And when I came out of service, I went into a small nightclub in Washington, D.C. with a trio. And I started to sing and people were talking. And I said to myself, is this what I want to do the rest of my life? And I said, obviously not. So I told that story to Joe. And I said, when you started to sing in clubs, did people stop and listen to you? And he said, hell no. He said, but you don't understand. He said, I sing because I have to sing. And that's something that's very important. Because these people up here play because they have to play. And your support will help keeping jazz alive. So do have a wonderful afternoon. And oh, by the way, interestingly enough, when I was in service, I was at March Air Force Base, and I used to run a radio station. And in talking to Jack Jones, he said, you know, I was at the same base doing the same thing. So look where he is. I think he made the right decision. And I just spent 36 years in public education. So I do hope you enjoy this afternoon. And
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming here. This is a very important thing for those of us who knew Joe and who've lived in this town a long time. And we all understand the importance of the work that he did in his time here in town. We all miss him, but we do this in memory of him. And you have a wonderful show today, and they've asked me to be the MC, and I acquiesce because I believe in Joe. I believe in this music. I know people listen to other kinds of music now, but it stinks. Country music is big today, and it's not that I don't like country music. It's just hard to believe that many people can live that long and never have one good day. That's all about it. Some of the other music I don't understand. Anyway, we have this wonderful orchestra here, and the first tune they're going to do is, I have to mention that Mr. Loeb told me that this orchestra was placed number 2 and number 3 at the Monterey Jazz Festival. Next year they plan on winning that. Very few orchestras are chosen for that. They only pick, I think it was a three orchestras? 6. What is it?
6.
They picked 7 orchestras. They picked 6 orchestras, actually. And this is one of the 6 internationally that made it. So we're all proud, and they're all students here and at the UNLV. And we're all proud. And the young man I'm going to introduce to you now is an excellent arranger. He grew up here in town and migrated here from Hawaii, from the islands, and he came here. And he was lucky enough to have, as a good friend and mentor of his, the great Carl Fontana, the greatest jazz trombone player that ever lived. Carl's not with us, but his influence lives on. And this young man has been an important part of our university, our musical scene, for a long time. So please welcome on stage Mr. Nathan Tenaway.
Come back now, Lee.
How about this guy? He wrote that arrangement. Isn't that spectacular? We have so much talent in this town. This next young lady comes to us from Chicago. We have some Chicago people here, I'm sure. Here. I don't know why you're not back home. God is in Chicago right now, trying out some weather. God bless her. It's a wonderful city. And she's a great gal. She's been teaching here. She moved here from Chicago, went to New York first, and came here. So we know you're going to enjoy her very much. She's been on the bill before, so please welcome my good friend for over 60 years. She's been smacking for that. JoBelle Youngley. She's wonderful. She teaches here. She's been here, I think, 15, 16 years, doing a great job. Our next performer is a singer who's been a part of this Joe Williams tribute for a while, too. We're very fun. Excuse me, sir, we're doing a show here. It's okay. I thought maybe you were a janitor or something. Mr. Lobus, our head of the music department. Yeah. He doesn't know anything else except this. You were head of the country music department, weren't you? Yeah. Yeah. And then somebody taught him how to read. Ronnie Rose is coming out here, ladies and gentlemen.
17. It was a very good year. It was a very good year for small town girls. Soft summer nights, we'd hide from the light on the village green. When I was 17, when I was 17, oh! When I was 21, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for city girls who lived up the stairs with all that perfume here. There came a time when I was 21. When I was 21. When I was 35, it was a very good year. It was a very good year for blue-blooded girls of independent means. We'd ride in limousines, and their chauffeurs would drive. When I was 35. When I was 35. And now the days are short. I'm in the autumn of the year, and I think of my life as vintage wine from fine old kegs, from the printed dregs, and it poured sweet and clear. It was a very good year. It was a very, very good year. Ramon, Philip, I wish I could one time, man. Let's look at some hands too. Okay. Another round of applause. And the band. Woo! I want to thank my friend Gary Anderson for doing that new arrangement for me. Did you like it? I thought it was sweet. Nice. I get to sing one more of Gary's arrangement. My Foolish Heart. The night is like a lovely tune. Beware, my foolish heart.
you, Ronnie. I'm talking about Mr. Ronnie Rose. And here comes Pete. And I want to say something really quick before Pete takes over. Let's see, I'm the Director of Jazz Studies, Dave Loeb, and on piano we have Otto Ealing. He also subs on the show. Yeah, Otto Ealing. He's a doctoral student. He also plays on a show called Showstoppers, which is over at the Win. I'm musical director for that. And I just understand that one of the stars of the show, Lindsay Regency. Are you here, Lindsay? There she is. Stand up. Lindsay, there she is. Come see the show at the Win. We don't have a light on there, but so I'm glad you came down to visit us today. And so that's all I needed to say, but thank you, Pete.
Then there's this body shop out in Henderson. It's in a commercial right in the middle of our big production. Anyway, this nice young lady, trust me, if the ticket, what you paid for the ticket for this show, we really appreciate, is about half what the world should pay to see this young lady, because she's been a superstar for a long time, and I had the good fortune to work with her many times out there on the road, and they don't get any better than this by everybody's judgment. One and only Marlena Shaw.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Pete Barbuti. And I want to tell this quick story, although I know I usually tell stories about Jill Williams. Jill, wherever you are, you know I love you, but this story is about Pete Barbuti. Almost 50 years ago, I was at the Playboy Club auditioning for, a job at the Playboy Club. Singing. At that time, Pete was the guy who passed on everybody. And Pete said, oh, I want to hear that girl sing. So I want you to know that you started something a long time ago, Pete. But thank you. God bless you. Thank you. And thank you to, anything you got. I know both of them. It only happens in the South. They call it blackberry winter. Comes without a warning, just
She's amazing, isn't she? That's quality. Quality. Marlon and Shaw, they're great. So lucky to have her in town. Now this is the time when we usually have to break things up, a stand-up comic. And when I started doing this, I was the stand-up comic, and then everybody heard all that crap before. So anyway, we try to get a stand-up comic, but most of the comics today are, their language is difficult, and this is a mixed audience. So we looked around, and all we could get was a sit-down comic. And the reason he's a sit-down comic is because he's 88 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, my good buddy, Mr. Sammy Shore.
I want to tell you about this group of kids, okay? And how much you mean to them by you coming, spending a couple bucks to have these kids finish their school and become great musicians like we are right now.
To do that, they know how to do that shit.
You and your Congos. Shut up your ass. Anyways, I'm the last comic sitting. No, I mean, I've been doing this for, actually, I'm 88 years old, just a few weeks ago. I've been standing for 88 years. You mind if I sit for a minute? How do you like your show so far? And this is good as I'm going to get. That's it. And I'll tell you something else. Just for you guys to come this afternoon and see all these wonderful people here, it gives us a little excitement to say it's still there. We still have it, like the young lady that sang before. Where do you find that today? You don't find that. They're no longer around in this business. It sucks. It really does. But I'll never quit. I will never quit because I love doing this. And if you love what you do, it stays with you forever. It may not be as good as it used to be, but George Carlin was my favorite comedian. George Carlin was. What he used to do, when he had a job, he would sit in the hotel room all day and write jokes, and at night he would come out and read them off the paper. And that's what I'm going to steal that from George. I wrote it here last night. I was sitting up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Look at the pages that I wrote here. Look at this. We'll be here all afternoon if I had to read all this shit to you. But the thing I want to do is, now that you're all jazz enthusiasts, rap. I don't understand rap. I was saying to myself, a rapper. I was saying to myself, you were going to the gym. Can't even fucking stand up. Listen to this rappers, you rap, hey, my friend, sit on myself with the hell on myself. Then I go to myself and say, the hell you all go to myself. I went to the mall and what did I see? A young lady at 17. She had PMS. I got PMS too, peck a motor shut down. all I'm gonna read from this sheet. It's like, you know, I'm only here just to take a couple of minutes of your time. And just to honor these kids. I could do it in my act. There's a lot of funny shit I can do, but you know, this is not my show. This is something that they asked me to do. It's my third one. And last year, I got to tell you, this is truthful. I kidded a fourth trumpet player who was playing fourth trumpet. Where's the fourth trumpet player here? Raise your hand. Where's the trumpets? You son of a bitch, where's the trumpets? Where's the trumpets at? You don't have trumpets? No, it's okay. Why are they hiding? Come on, you trumpet players. There they are. The trumpet players, there they are. Where's the fourth trumpet player? The fourth trumpet player, the oldest one. That's it, that guy. I kid the fourth trumpet player last year. I swear to you, I really gave it to him. And I said, don't worry, because you move up, you move up. And that same kid today is playing first trumpet in the Steve Wynn show-stopping band. How about that? And you guys have a chance. Anyways, I gotta get off. It's on too long. I get off this shit. I read up. But it's so important in life to be happy. It really is. And to be with someone that makes you happy. It's so important to have a woman in your life who cooks and cleans. And it's so important to have a woman in your life who doesn't lie or cheat. It's very important to have a woman in your life that's good in bed and just wants to be with you. It's very important to have a woman who makes you laugh. And it's very, very important that these four women don't know each other. I gotta go.
It's never going to stop. Sammy would have done more time, but he's got to take some pills and everything. He's got to... Anyway, boy, it just keeps getting better and better every year. Now, this young man I'm going to bring out here, he came to town here. We were all so happy because most of us in the music business knew about him. We all said, you know, when's he going to work town? He came to town, he came in, he stormed in, he had his own show, his own room named after him. They named the hotel after him. Well, maybe not the whole hotel, but anyway, he's out here all the time. Anytime we have a benefit, he's always there. You only have to ask him maybe 6, 7, 8 times. Anyway, he's the best, the one and only Mr. Clint Holmes.
Let's have fun. You only live once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. Let the good times roll. I don't care if you're young or you're old. Get together, let the good times roll. Don't sit there mumbling, talking trash. If you wanna have a ball, you gotta get up, spend some cash. occasion, right? What an occasion, what a great band. I had the opportunity earlier, I don't know what, to do a show at the Venetian called Georgia on My Mind, and it was a tribute to the music of Ray Charles, and I was so honored to be in it. A lot of these guys were in that show playing, and Take Six, the great vocal group, and Nina Freelon, and Kurt Whalum, and Dave, and the band, and one of the songs we did was a song that everybody in the show sang, and there's a reason, because it's a classic song, but I'm going to attempt to sing all the parts to this great song. Thank you guys for supporting this very, very important show. And I'm talking he something or what? Huh?
It's amazing. I want to welcome back our dear friend out here, Nathan. This next young lady, I must admit I never heard her. She's a lovely lady. She's been very nice to hang with backstage, and she's a good girl. And she's in a show called Las Vegas The Show. So please welcome her. This is her first time on this show, Miss Reva Rice.
I'm gonna get funky with you, okay?
next young man coming out here is also with that show. Show Las Vegas, and he has his own, some of his own musicians. And we'd like you to welcome him. I don't know anything about him, so I don't know what to say. We could make up some stuff. Okay, he appeared at the Copacabana in New York for 9 weeks. He headlined at the El Rancho Vegas here for 7 years. Not only did he headline there, but he burned it down. He was working in the dunes the night they imploded it. That's all we can say. Please welcome Taz Yancey.
Nothing but blue skies I do I see. Birds singing a song, yeah. Nothing but bluebirds all day long. Come on, come on. I saw the sun shining so bright, never saw things going so right. Noticing the days hurry by when you're in love, by how time flies. Birds sing a song, nothing but bluebirds all day long. Saxophone, come on.
Nebraska. Anybody here from Nebraska? I think when you ask them, a small town like this, people are reticent to acknowledge. Don't tell the comedian you're from Nebraska. It makes a remark about you not being sophisticated. You don't have to worry about that. I don't work that way. Besides, I've been to Nebraska many times, and it's an honor to have you in the audience, and I mean that very much. Here's a piano. You ever see anything this big didn't have John Deere written on the side? Can I hear some more jazz? Enough of that nonsense. Good to have you here. I love Nebraska. I used to work at a club there owned by some people that weren't supposed to have a license called Angelo's. It's on the highway out where the track used to be. They closed the track down. Exarban was the track. It was Nebraska spelled backwards. Nobody's supposed to know that. I figured it out, and then they ran me out of town. This young man is Gary Fowler. You're going to enjoy him.
Never treats me sweet and gentle the way she should. I've got it bad, and that ain't good. My poor heart is sentimental, not made of wood.
And how about this young man on guitar? What's the guitar player's name? Nathan, do you know? Sean. He just has the one name? Hey, you don't have to get mad, he just says. Sean Carbone on guitar. I heard him back. He's back there. I thought he was going to be some rock and roller and come out and just wang away. Boy, he played beautifully. I was thrilled to hear that young man sing. That was really good. Anyway, we have another great entertainer coming out here. I don't even know who it is. I think it's Earl Turner's coming out. Is it Earl? Okay, you have to yell at me, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Earl Turner.
How are you? You doing all right? Is this not extraordinary? Come on, give it up. You guys ready? No, I'm right there. Yeah, we got. I'm following the beat, bud. It's weird. Come on. Come on, here we go. Yeah. We're gonna boogie a little bit, all right?
new show that Steve Wynn has at the hotel there is spectacular with a full orchestra, so if you get a chance, go see that. And also later in the show, Bob Anderson's going to be out. He's got a full orchestra too, so it's nice to have that many real musicians working. This is an example here. For these guys, after the show, I want to tell you, when they see the size of their check, they're going to really be impressed. We're going to introduce our next artist. You can start that he wants to. Yeah, you go ahead and start. This is just going to take a few minutes. Dave's going to rewrite a couple of tunes.
How are you doing? Every day, baby, I've got the blues. Yeah, every day, I've got the blues. Speaking of hard luck and trouble, no, it's you I hate to lose. Nobody loves me. Nobody seems to care. You know, Joe Williams said, nobody seems to care, but Jimmy does. Speaking of hard luck and trouble, I've had my share. I'm gonna bag my suitcase, baby, and head on down the line. Gonna pack my suitcase, head down the line. There ain't nobody ready, damn sure ain't nobody calling. Seems to me every day I have to
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you so very much. For my second number, you know, in the jazz world, we have lost so many people. This year especially. And I thought that two of my dearest friends, I would do a tribute to them. A lot of you young artists out here probably wouldn't even know who they are. I used to be with Johnny Mathis for quite a few years. Chances are, 'cause I wear a silly grin. Well, that was for some beautiful days, and beautiful moments, and beautiful memories, and he's still with us. The two I'm talking about, I just did a tribute to Mr. Joe Williams. And the next, really, we were very close. And he wrote some of the greatest jazz compositions that anyone could ever know, and live and appreciate. I'm speaking of none other than Mr. Horace Silver. He wrote a nice song. I was in Japan, my wife and I, we were appearing in Yokohama. And we watched the Berlin, the Russian circus. And I was very surprised when the circus band, they had a trapeze act, and they were doing those swings and tumbles to Horace's composition. And I said, wow, they're jazz fans up there. Well, the title of that song is, I liked it so much I wanted to do it. It sounds better if my wife was here with me. But she's singing right now for St. Peter. But and watching me at the same time. This is called Nika's Dream. Beat your heart out,
Jorge Machado on trumpet. Nick Desaney on trombone. Austin Foley on drums. Otto Ealing on the piano. I have to turn the mic back over to Pete now because I'll get in trouble. But before I do, real quickly, I just want to thank everyone today, and I want to thank the wonderful story we had. Probably one of the reasons, well, the main reason is honoring the incredible legacy of the greatest jazz singer of all time, Joe Williams. That's why we're here. And I want to acknowledge his wonderful widow, who has been a great supporter of our students for a long time now. She's instituted the Joe Williams Everyday Foundation, named after the song Donald Cunningham just sang in tribute to Joe. So I want to acknowledge right now Jillian Williams. She's actually in the Joe Williams seat right there. That's her seat forever right here. Jillian Williams, thank you so much, Jillian. There's so many thank yous, acknowledgements. They're in the program, but I think our Jazz Studies Advisory Board, Nick Fisher, the Jazz Initiative, Carolyn Freeman. We want to thank. Also, I want to thank the incredible John Katzlaminas and Jennifer Vaughn. John, great article. Thank you for pumping up our program, and Jennifer, thanks for making it all happen. All the great performers here today. Vegas Jazz, everyone that supported. And I'm going to get off here right now. But Ed Foster for producing this and putting this on. Ed, thank you. And all the performers. I mean, we're just so humbled that they come up here, and they don't get paid for this at all. And I mean, but please go and support their shows, Vegas, and all that now. Oh, I'm in trouble with Pete. I was hoping I could get him to do like one of those pieces, but he'll do or the broom, but we'll get it next time. People are beautiful. Thank you. On the way out, buy our CDs. Smoke and Mirrors is the name of the song that Jorge Cheyenne wrote, Smoke in Mirrors. And the CD got, we got our 5th rave review from Jazz Times. They had like 90 CDs sent in from university bands, military bands. They only reviewed 8 each year. And we got reviewed. And I promise you, if you don't like it, you get your money back, send it back. It's really good. It's what you heard on the way in. And it's how we support this fundraiser. And all these things support our trip to Monterey. And also the next CD and scholarship for the students and on. So buy the CD on the way out. I promise you, you're going to love it. Smoke and Mirrors, and I think the other ones from last year also for sale, so that's my pitch.
Thank you. I also have a CD. People ask, been in the business a long time, work with all the greats, saying, yes, I do have a CD. People say, can I buy it? No, you can't buy it, because if I sell it, I won't have it. I just have to want it. I don't have any copies of it. So I do, it's broom solos. Broom solos, the CDs, and it's Christmas songs. So we're going to release it in August. So I didn't tell you about this guy who lives out here in Summerlin. And all of his life, he's dreamed of owning a tropical bird. A parrot of some kind, because he's like obsessed with it. And so he saved his money, and he heard the best stores in Miami. So he took a bus from here and he went to Miami. It took like days, and he got there, and he went into this tropical bird store, and there were magnificent creatures all over the place, and he was just in awe. He stood there almost breathless. And he saw in the middle of the store on a perch this beautiful parrot, tropical bird. The colors were just vivid as could be. And he walked over and he looked at the bird, and he could only dream. He said, this is really the bird I want. And the clerk said, may I help you, sir? He said, yes, you may. He said, this is the bird I've dreamed of owning all my life. And the clerk says, well, may I say, sir, you have very, very good taste. He said, this is a beautiful creature. And he said, how much is this parrot? Is it some sort of breed of parrot? And the clerk said, well, he said, you've chosen a rather expensive bird. It's $9,000. The guy said, oh my God, $9,000? He said, I had no idea they cost that much. Does he talk? And the clerk said, well, not only does he speak, sir, but he whistles all of the Beethoven sonatas in their original key and in their entirety. And he said, well, look, this is just, I'm in shock. I mean, I love the bird. So how about that other parrot over there? It's not quite as large and the colors aren't quite as vivid, but it's still rather attractive. The clerk said, you're going the wrong way. 11,500. I said, God almighty. He said, does he talk? I said, not only does he talk, sir, but he whistles all of the Mozart piano concertos in their entirety and in their original key. And the guy said, look, I am just flabbergasted. Just let me stroll around the store like I'm like in a comb over this thing. The clerk said, all right. So he's walking around, he's just ready to leave, and he notices over near the door to the restroom on the floor is this very unattractive parrot. Its eyes are not clear at all. Looks like it's been drinking. Beak is a little off center, feathers kind of sticking up all over. And he calls the clerk over. He said, look, he said, this is probably the only bird in the store that I can afford. How much is this parrot? And the clerk says, I'm sorry to tell you, sir, you've chosen the most expensive bird in the store. He's $16,000. The guy said, my God, that's amazing. Does he talk? And the clerk says, I don't know. We've never heard him say anything. So well, does he whistle classical music? And the clerk says, I don't know. We've never heard him whistle anything. The guy said, well, what the hell does he do? Why does it cost $16,000? And the clerk says, we don't know what he does. All we know is the other birds in the store call him Maestro. Hey, our good buddy who helps us out every year, Mr. Bill Fane.
Hi everyone, I'm blessed in 3 ways to be here today. First of all, for Ed Foster to invite me to be on this stage with these great musicians and the great performers. Secondly, to sing my absolute favorite song, which Joe Williams sang so perfectly and so beautifully. And thirdly, to have the greatest piano player in the world, in my opinion. Oh, did he leave? My friend, Vinnie Falcone. No complaints and no regrets. I still believe in chasing dreams and placing bets. But I have learned that all you give is all you get. So give it all you got. I had my share, I drank my fill. And even though I'm satisfied, I'm hungry still to see what's down another road beyond the hill and do it all again. So here's to life and every joy it brings. Here's to life, to dreamers and their dreams. Funny how the time just flies, how love can go from warm hellos to sad goodbyes and leave you with the memories you've memorized to keep your winters warm. But there's no yes in yesterday. Who knows what tomorrow brings or takes away. As long as I'm still in the game, I've got to play for laughs, for life, for love. So here's
Been here a long time. I want to thank you all for being so patient. This is a long afternoon. I know some of you had other things to do. As I look around, this age group, yes, some of you probably want to play bingo or... This is the kind of group that loves jazz. This is the kind of group we relate to too. This is the kind of group, yeah. It's not just culture, it's not just artistic maturity. There's another word I'm looking for. Geezers, you're geezers. That's the crowd we want, that's the crowd we want. Okay. Are you going to conduct or play for him?
If you get out of my way, yeah.
Okay. Boy. Hey, if you get a chance, you got to go see this show. This is an amazing show, and this is an amazing guy. We've all been in love with him for years, thinking, why isn't he on the Strip? Well, now he is in a first-class show at a huge orchestra, Vinnie Falcone conducting, Mr. Bob Anderson.
Thank you very much. Thank you all. Just a minute. Pete's probably got the bad microphone. Let me check this out. Hello, testing. You always got to check the mics. See, this is the one Clint used, so we know it's the right one. I can hear myself a little bit. Sure. Yeah. No, that's fine. Are we? Yeah. Don't worry about me. Cause baby, I'll get along. Just you forget about me and be happy, my love. Let's say that our little show is over, and so the story ends. We'll just call it a day in a sensible way, and let's remain friends. Look out for yourself. Should always be in the room. Give your heart and your love to whomever you love. Don't you be a fool. Baby, why stop playing to some fading thing that used to be? Well, if you can't forget, don't you worry about me. got that stuff like that. You know, I don't know if I couldn't hear, I can't hear anymore. You know, after working with people like that, you can't hear anymore. I've been working in front of a big man for so many years. But anyway, I don't know how many people talked about this, but Joe Williams was truly a great friend of mine. I loved him, as obviously all of you have, because you're out here to support such a wonderful thing. And the performers, I don't think he must have sung that song before. I don't know. I've never heard he sing. He was just the greatest, absolutely. And I would never tell you a quick one. I was standing when the Hacienda Hotel was up. It's the first time I was ever in town. I was working with Nancy Sinatra. I was just like 21 years old. And I came down to Hacienda, and it was a full big band out there just playing. And I was like nervous as could be. And Ed McMahon was hosting this thing. And so I went on, and the band was, the stage was right here with the horns, and I had about 3 feet, and I'm singing. I couldn't hear myself at all when I walked off the stage, and I thought I would give Joe, some information that he needed. So I went up to Joe and I said, "Hey Joe," I said, "you can't hear yourself out there at all." The band he said, "Hey baby, haven't you heard yourself enough?" He said, "Just go straight ahead, baby. Just go straight ahead, baby. You heard yourself enough, haven't you?" And I said, "Yeah, Joe, you're right. I guess I am." So anyway, what a beautiful cat. All right.